Lindsay.
I'm Morgan.
This is our 1920s news. The KKK was not only hostile to blacks in World War I, but Jews, Roman Catholics, socialists, communists, and other foreigners. By 1925, they had around 4 million members. On Valentine's Day, 6 members of the Bugs Moran gang were shot in Chicago by Al Capone's gang. This was called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. At 7:52 a.m., May 20th, 1927, Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic Ocean from New York and landed in Paris with no radars or maps. August 18th, 1920, women were granted the right to vote. This is what we call the 19th Amendment. October 1929, for a month, the stock market dropped rapidly. Most of the 16 million stocks that were sold were worthless now, and a lot of people became homeless or penniless, and this was called the Wall Street crash.
Music of the 1920s. Whispering by Paul Whitman and his orchestra. After the war, he formed Paul Whitman and his orchestra. He moved to New York in 1920 and made his first record. Crazy Blues by Mamie Smith. Crazy Blues promoted other companies to find female blues singers. It also helped other African Americans to get deals in records. Swanee. The artist is A.J. Jolson, highly acclaimed American singer, comedian, and actor, the first open Jewish man to become an entertainment star in America. When My Baby Smiles at Me by Ted Lewis, one of the best-selling jazz bands of the 1920s and was Columbia Records' best-selling artist. I'll Be With You in Apple Blossom Time. Artist is Charles Harrison.
Examples of the entertainment fads of the 1920s is such things as the Charleston. It was a popular dance created by James P. Johnson. And Morgan will demonstrate. Don't turn sideways. Don't turn sideways. Don't. Kool-Aid was
like you could big girl and she walks that way.
that way. Kool-Aid was invented in the 1920s and it was very popular. The original flavors were cherry, lemon lime, grape, orange, strawberry, raspberry, and root beer. The radio was invented in the 1920s and became very popular, and since TV was not invented, families and friends would tune in for comedy shows, news, live events, jazz variety shows, drama, opera, and etc. Flappers were very popular people who cut hair, smoked, danced, or applied makeup in public. Also did the Charleston. In 1922, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich became famous. It became famous then because Gustav Papendick invented a process for slicing and wrapping bread, which meant kids could safely make the sandwiches themselves.
Interesting facts. September 1st Mickey Mouse talking film was released by Walt Disney. Betty Boop was not created until August 1930, but Betty Boop was based on an actress of the 1920s. Red lipstick was interesting because it was popular. And hair dryers invented in 1920. Before that, women would connect a long hose to a vacuum and exhaust pipe.
I'm not done yet.
Popular movies in the 1920s. Everybody's Sweetheart was about before these girls' deaths. She was poisoned at the age of 26. It's a story of when two young friends were raised on farms and ran away together. Another one, Way Down East, country girl named Anna. She was tricked into a sham marriage where she becomes pregnant and the guy leaves her. Now she can't find a home for her baby. Bulldog Drummond. Officer Dog searches for adventures. He helps rescue an old uncle from the nursing home. He was being held captive. Speedy. Railroaders try ruining a grandpa's house on bus service. His granddaughters get help from Arnold Speedy, then have a horse race. Madam X. Sad story which the Huron becomes pregnant and is forced to give her son up. She returns and kills a man.
In the 1920s, many sports were created and a lot were very popular. Steve Donahue won the Derby the third time in 1921. Excuse me. He won 6 times altogether and then was dubbed champion jockey. Water skiing was born in the 1920s thanks to Ralph Samuelson of Minnesota. He used an 8x9 wooden board, an iron ring, and 100 feet of cord. This was created in 1922. Oh God. Babe Ruth breaks the home run record in the 1920s. George Herman Ruth, aka Babe Ruth, hit a total of 60 home runs in 1929. Henry Seagrave drove his car the Golden Arrow and reached a record of 231.44 miles per hour in 1929. Greyhound racing is introduced in Great Britain thanks to the U.S. in 1925. As it became more popular, tracks were built, and in 1928, the National Greyhound Racing Club was established. Yeah.
Warren B. Herring, very influential and respected United States president. He was the 29th president. He was in office after World War I and was successful. He also helped raise the hiring rates during slump. Marcus Garvey, most influential black leader. He was also helping different groups in the United States, and he also created an American gospel of success to inspire higher racial pride. Bessie Smith, she was a singer of classic blues. She loved dancing and singing. She joined a group and then started going solo later in life and changed a lot of lives. Babe Ruth, baseball player, he was a good and bad example to kids. He was the most famous and best baseball player. Louis Brooks, she landed a 5-year contract with Paramount Pictures and also made her own book soon. She became very important to the world.
I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Destiny.
And this is 1920s news.
Here's the red button.
Oh, red.